But first, are we on the brink of an arms race in the Middle East? Fears that Iran's neighbors are racing to get hands on their own nukes because of this Iranian deal. But Dwayne Claridge, founding director of the CIA's Counterterrorism Center, has some shocking things to say about what's really going on in the Middle East. Mr. Claridge, you're on the phone. Good to talk to you. Thank you very much for coming in. Now, the president says his Iranian deal will slow down a Middle East arms race, to which you say what?
This is simply another foolish assertion of Obama. He must think that the majority of the Americans are as ignorant as the Americans who vote for him. I mean, this is absolute nonsense. It will create an arms race.
Well, specifically where? A lot of people, Mr. Claridge, have talked about Saudi Arabia. They certainly have more money than anybody in the Middle East. Are you concerned about the possibility they may get a nuclear bomb?
Saudis already have the bomb. But people fail to remember.
Hold on a second, Mr. Claridge. Let me just emphasize that point, because that's an important point. You say Saudi Arabia already has a nuclear bomb?
Or several.
From where did they get it? They don't have a nuclear program, do they?
Well, people forget that it was the Saudis who financed the Pakistani bomb. They put billions of dollars into that effort to create that nuclear capability. And in return, of course, they got something. Now, people can argue whether it was dibs on 4 nuclear devices or 7. That's the argument. But no one really in the know argues that they do have access to nuclear weapons.
Well, this is extraordinary news, I think, for a lot of Americans, Mr. Claridge. And you do, just for those who don't know your background, you have a very extensive background in the CIA. You still have a lot of contacts in the Middle East. Are these nuclear weapons that you say Saudi Arabia now has, are they in Saudi Arabia, or are they in Pakistan waiting to be shipped to Saudi Arabia, or what?
I can't answer that question. But what I can say is that people argue whether the Saudis could actually deliver the weapons to Iran. I say they could. They have a capability with their F-15s, and don't forget the Chinese missile system that sits in the middle of the desert of Saudi Arabia, which has been kept up to date. But to really do some damage to Saudi Arabia, the F-15s could easily destroy the oil facilities of Arabistan, Bandar Abbas, and finish that all off.
Final question, Mr. Claridge. We're short on time, but is it conceivable that the Saudis may use these nuclear weapons, if they have them, to take out these positions in Iran before the Iranians get a bomb?
I cannot answer that question. But I think if you sit around some evening on your patio with a fine glass of vintage port and a fine cigar, you may be able to come up with the answer yourself.
All right. Dwayne Claridge, a legend in the CIA. Dwayne Claridge, thank you very much for joining us.